I seen a video of this woman get on here and say, these men are telling you what they like and y'all are doing the opposite. So it's apparent to me that y'all are not really trying to attract men. Bitch, you are old as fuck. And everybody in them comments was in old as fuck. Like, let me break down how you sound. In order for me to attract a man, I must put myself in a box. I must not do certain things. I must not wear certain things. I must be something and somebody that I am not in order to attract someone to love me. Y'all sound fucking ridiculous. And I know it's the conditioning of this society. I understand, but that is the most ridiculous shit I have ever fucking heard in my life. And y'all really truly think that other people want to live by that? Like, girl, you don't do this, you ain't gonna have no man. Fuck a man, bitch. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? And then, y'all have 6, 7, 10, 5, 4, like, what the fuck have we gone? Where have we turned to where women are 30, 40, 50 years old, still shrinking and putting themselves in boxes in order to attract the fucking man?
So I don't think it's. I get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. You don't want to be change who you are to attract a man, right? I get that, right? And on some sort of level that seems fair, that seems emotionally like it makes sense. But on the other side of it, when they're saying if the men are telling you what they want, they're telling you what's important to them, and you don't want to conform to that, you can't really be surprised when you don't get a man, especially when you're talking about that man of that has the qualities that you want, that caliber that you want. He's going to tell you these are the things I want. If you can't provide that, if that's not you, don't heat no judgment. That's just not. He's not the man for you. I think both of these things are true, but from I'm trying to dance around some things here. But if you don't care about attracting a man, then yeah, you can do whatever you want. Then any type of comment on that is saying you have to do this to get a man is going to sound idiotic to you. Yeah, but before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss the uploads. And YouTube does turn the notification bells off. It happens all the time. So new subscribers on the page, look out for that. If you suddenly stop seeing my face twice a day, at regular intervals in the morning and the afternoon, check your notification bell. We're still trying to finish out the year strong. Um, so yeah, but to the point she's trying to make, and it's one of the sisterhood against pick me's, where women saying, well, if you want this type of man, you have to be what that man wants. I'm a fan of that because it takes into account what men's, you know, what their standards are, what their preferences are. If the man that you like has certain standards and preferences and you don't meet them, then you don't really get the man. And I think that's a very normal thing to understand. If you don't care about attracting men, then fine, right? Then you get whatever comes to you, whatever you're interested in, whatever you can attract, whatever's attracted to you. That's fine. But from what we constantly hear from women, what they're saying they want, and the laundry list is extensive, you want that type of man, but you don't want to give him what he wants. You want this sort of unfair sort of bargain. So, and I completely understand. She's talking about the programming and how this is brought up to believe this. I think women have also been brought up to believe the opposite, that a man should accept you at any type of anyhow, any whatever you come like, he's supposed to accept that. And if he doesn't, then he's just not the man for you. But we have this opportunity, this golden opportunity to look and say what men are saying in mass. What is it that they actually are looking for, what they want, what's important to them? And then when they tell you, then you want to say, why should I change who I am just to be with you? The real truth is we've all been doing that to an extent. There's qualities that you pick up and you have because they're attractive to women. Men aren't. It, men tend to be funny because it's attractive to women. That's it's a thing that you can pick up. It's a skill you can try to hone. You try to do these things because you want to become more attractive to the opposite sex. In a way, the entire human race is made up of pygmies, right? We have the same things. The animal kingdom does the same thing. Peacocking. You show off the plumage, and then the woman's like, oh wow, I like that. You show how strong you are. You dominate. It's a natural biological thing, but we've become to a place where we believe it's some sort of that anathema. Don't shrink yourself because to show just so you can get a man doesn't necessarily be a shrinking thing, right? If you're improving upon things of yourself, right? And one of the things that I try to work, I worked on, since I was younger. Yeah, stop cursing as much, especially in mixed company, right? That can often be off-putting, right? For the type of caliber of women I'm attracted to, or I would want in my life. It wouldn't be somewhere where we're just around, dropping f-bombs consistently, you know. Um, so is that me shrinking who I am, or this is just another facet of an opportunity to improve? I think if you think about it like that, it becomes an easier thing to sort of accept. Okay, I want this out of life, and it's going to take me having these characteristics, having these behaviors to get that. And if that person or that sort of outcome is what I want and enough of, then I'm going to try my hardest to do that. But again, like she says, if you don't care about a man, if a man's not important, then that becomes an increasingly easy thing for men to understand on the internet. Right? We have the series of videos where we're saying, well, why are men not showing up at events? Well, because we see all the time that we're not wanted, right? In various ways, in micro to macro ways, we see we're not wanted. We see we're not cared for. You don't care enough about me to listen to the things I say that I want are important to me in order to, facilitate some sort of change in your life. It's not important. I'm not important. Okay. That's why we don't show up for you either. Right. That's why the ones you are really interested in, they're not giving you that time and attention, or they're not showing up to the places that now when the tables have turned, hey, no, I want you here. No, I don't want to be here. I have no interest in being here because I know I'm not wanted. I've heard this for such a long time. Like she mentioned, I've been programmed in a way to believe I'm unwanted. So it's a very easy thing for men to just sort of turn away. But in this case, accusing women of being pick me is because they're listening to men and what men are saying that they want. What's important to them, they're saying these things, right? Kevin Samuels was famous for saying, fit, feminine, friendly. And there was such a pushback, especially against the fit thing. If the men that you say you want you to be fit, then is you getting fit making you a pick me? Maybe it's you getting fit just to please a man making you a pick me. Yeah, if it is, I I'm here to say so what? If me having to increase my revenue and my experience in life is all for to attract a woman, then does that make me a pick me? Or does that make me a simp? You got to answer that. I don't think it makes you a simp. Simp has a different definition, but the pick me is saying, right, you acquire these things to be, a better mate, right? That's how I think that's how a lot of men look at it. At least that's how I look at it. I don't look at women saying pick me and see that as a bad thing, especially if you're doing it genuinely because, hey, I see men of your caliber. I see how you guys move. I want to be around that. That's what I'm interested in. There are things in my life that make me like I don't qualify for these, so I need to make these changes. I think that's just strategy. I don't see it as pick me. But again, if you think I missed something, you think I'm off. If you got a better definition, you got a better way to thread the needle on this. Let me know in the comments. I'll be very interested to see what you guys have to say. And again, if you're hearing the sound of my voice now at the end of the video, you gotta subscribe, right? Come on. I think most people drop off at a 3-minute mark because our attention span, That's what it is. I'll see you guys in the next one.